Welcome, race fans,
to another every week, Scott. You say that every week.
It's kind of. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the music was the intro. You could vary it a little bit.
Well, it's our intro after the intro.
Okay.
Scott Hammer, along with Ron Miller, show number 88 for the Hammer Down Racer Report for Thursday, June 13th. In the studio with us this evening, sprint car extraordinaire, Buddy Kofoid. I'm excited to talk to this kid.
How do you get to be that good?
Well, he's leading 3-point things, and I don't even think you were trying, right?
No, we're all trying. We just.
Well, you weren't going for points series,
at first,
were you?
yeah, no. At first, we weren't really. We're kind of running whatever, whenever, and then we had a few good runs.
And then the points hooked you. Now you feel like you've got to be there.
Yeah, and if I think we have a legitimate shot to win, or hopefully 3 championships would be nice. And I feel like it.
Why stop at 3? Why not go for 4?
Well, yeah. But that's just what we're a part of right now, and if we could chase all 3 and hopefully win all 3, it'd look pretty good on the resume. So that's kind of what we were going for.
That would be, yeah. And you're in really tough sprint car country.
We're going to do a switch here mid. We just got our new cameras this week, and it looks like this camera's not working. So we're going to switch over to this microphone. Sorry, Alan. So you can still sit there. You're good. We'll see if that works a little bit better, because all we're getting is black on our Facebook Live.
Give him a test 1, 2, 3, buddy.
Well, say more than that.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
That.
I don't know if that'll be long enough. We'll find out later. But we'll be talking to Buddy Kofoid. His sprint car works a little bit better than our studio. We also have squished screen if you're watching us Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or on Periscope, Twitter. I didn't have any time to get in here after they installed these cool new cameras. They're pretty sweet looking. Unfortunately, the software's not quite set up yet.
Not quite dialed in.
As long as you can hear us, that's the important part. And we're squished, so that way we look thinner. I look like I lost weight.
Oh, ooh.
Back to starting off the show live from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. It's the Hammer Down Racer Report. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on our new Twitter at Hammer Report. Listen to us as well on your favorite podcasting platform, including iHeartRadio. If you had to choose
where are we
one,
at on like, Scott?
I think we're getting close to 1,600.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of slowed down. We kind of stopped.
Seems like a couple of weeks ago we were begging to get over 1,000, but
yeah,
we're doing well.
Again, we'll be talking to Buddy Kofoid a little bit later on in more detail, leader of the Attica Fremont Championship Series. Those are the 3-year point leader currently, correct?
Well, we were Attica, now just
You're
Fremont
not still
AFCS. Yeah, we had a little issue at Attica last Friday, but
we'll have to talk about that. Make sure to give Ron Miller Race Cars a call for all your racing needs. 734-856-7223. Race cars, parts, safety, equipment, service. Actually, there was racing this past weekend, so there was actually something going on at your shop I stopped over the other day to get some new tires.
Yeah, and we've sold a fair amount of tires this week, so yeah, it's been an exciting week.
So it helps when people are racing, then you sell more, right?
Yeah, when our local track has made 2 out of 7 attempts, it's getting bleak.
If you have a racer in your family, you need a gift idea. You sell gift cards, too.
Yeah, we do. We sell gift cards. And with Father's Day coming up, I know we've got a lot of fathers that are racers, so get a hold of us for gift suggestions.
734-856-7223. That's Ron Miller Race Cars. And coming up also a little bit later, we have Ryan Weekman from WTOL 11 with his weekend weather pit stop. And
pretty exciting.
Some of it's okay.
Yeah.
Some of it's less than okay, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Update on I forgot to ask Chris or Doug if we got an update as far as participants for the Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30 at Sandusky Speedway.
Oh, they're monitoring that now?
Well, that's where all the
okay,
when people fill out that form there.
Yeah, that's where it goes.
I forgot to ask.
Okay.
Yeah. Supposed to send me a thing. But, don't forget the Hammer Down Dirty 30. Have you heard about this, buddy?
I think I've read about it a little bit. Yeah.
All right. We're getting some press. That's good.
Yeah.
Big race coming up October 3rd at Sandusky Speedway featuring dirt cars on the asphalt. Dirt late models are going to be the headliner there, going 30 laps for the feature, and I believe it's $1,200 to win.
30 laps with dirt cars on pavement.
On asphalt.
That's how they came up with Dirty 30. That's amazing,
See
Scott.
how that works?
Yeah. Gee.
We'll also have the Fremont Dirt Trucks and the Oakshade Bombers in a combined class, 2-barrel for the Bombers. So you got to unhook it.
Basically, your track rules with a 2-barrel carburetor, any dirt tire,
I was talking
8-inch dirt tire.
I meant to mention this last week. I was talking to Corey McCoy at the Walleye Watch Party. Back when we were still in the Kelly Cup Finals.
Right.
They did good. Congratulations to the Toledo Walleye. Good season for them. But he was a little concerned with the tires they run, and was talking about getting some retreads, because apparently those hold up pretty good.
They hold up very well.
Yeah, well, that's what I just replaced on my car. I ran half of the last season on them and Sandusky Speedway on New Year's Day, and I was running them for the first 2 races at Oakshade. I figured it's probably about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to buy 2 more.
Well,
I have more, Scott.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
I need some sponsors then, because my pocketbook's getting pretty empty. Also, we're going to have the 4-cylinder or front-wheel drive cars. I'm sorry, we're not calling 4-cylinder. Front-wheel drive cars, the asphalt versus the dirt guys.
Cars, yep.
So those are the 3 classes for the Dirty 30 coming up Thursday night, October 3rd at Sandusky Speedway. If you are a racer and you're going to participate, make sure you add Stephen Pocock has been added as a front-wheel drive.
Cool. I've talked to a couple of front-wheel drive racers this week, and I know they haven't signed up yet, but they're definitely interested in being there.
So go ahead, and we got the post pinned to our Facebook page at the top. It's a link to sanduskyspeedway.com/dirty30 where you can fill out the form. There's no commitment there. It's just to get your name on, and we'll read your name pretty much.
And yeah,
like
we can advertise that you're going to be there and promote that.
And we're going to do the show live from out there that Thursday.
That's going to be
that'll be interesting in and of itself.
Buddy, I'm telling you.
Racing action this past weekend, we had quite a bit of it with the weather being cooperative.
Finally, Mother Nature was nice.
Out at Attica Raceway Park, you were there, right?
Yeah, we were there.
So what happened? Let's talk about that before we go any further here with who won.
I think we were a quick time, and we won our heat race and started. I haven't been very good with pulling pills lately for the redraw, and pulled a 10 out of 10, and got to the lead on lap. I think it was probably 17, 18, and led till about lap 21. And a lapper, I think, broke and came down in front of me, and I just couldn't get out of the way in time and got collected, which sucked. But
while you were leading,
yeah, we were leading.
That's sad.
It hurt. We've been fast at Attica, and we've been close. But hopefully we can get it tomorrow with the Speedweek would be nice.
How's the car? Is it fine? Is it back together?
Yeah, no, we raced the same car the next day at Fremont. Everything's good. Luckily, we got a good crew behind us to get it prepared again for the next night. And Ed and everyone provides us enough equipment to race. If we happen to really hurt a car, we can have another one. But yeah, that's what cost us the points lead. So hopefully we can, over the next few weeks or whenever the next points race is, we can hopefully get it back.
All right. Well, DJ Foose picked up his second career 410 sprint win after you suffered your issues there with just 9 laps to go. Speaking of Australian, we forgot to mention Alan Blake in the studio with us tonight. He's not talking though. He's just a studio audience.
Just an observer.
Just an observer. All the way from Australia. Last week we had a crowded house in here, didn't we?
We did.
Talking quarter midgets. I get easily distracted here. Australian Stuart Williams led all 25 laps in the
Squirrel
305. Where? The 305 feature in his first night out in competition this year. Wayne, Ohio's John Brooks snuck by Kent Brewer in the final corner of the dirt truck feature to earn the win there. That's the action at Attica Raceway Park. It's past Friday. Good stuff. Limaland finally got things going.
Their season opener. After
5 straight rainouts down there, they kicked off the 2019 season with Jordan Conover winning his second Keyser Memorial in Thunderstock action. Kenny Wallace was down there racing. He won the modified feature. I think, did Chris give you an update as to whether Kenny's going to be at the Dirty 30?
I haven't heard.
All right. I saw you asked him. I didn't know if he got an answer yet.
He's probably keeping that close to the vest.
All right. Chris Hicks won the Tough Truck feature. It was his 49th career win. Saturday night at Oakshade, Ryan Missler ran strong and picked up the late model feature win. You're sporting his shirt tonight.
There you go.
I'm sporting the Matthew Chapman shirt
because
started very deep in the field and ended. I think he finished fourth,
14th, and third or fourth. Yeah,
a nice run for
good
Chapman.
Run.
So, Brandon Gregory got his second consecutive Sportsman feature win. Terry Rushlow won the Bomber A main. Brogan Rayclaw held off Corey Gum to win the compact feature, and Donovan Paskin survived a crazy Bomber B main.
Now, after your
16
race,
cars started and like 4 were left at the end.
Yeah, but that's better than the 2 that finished
the week before.
Previous.
Well, there was only 5 that started that though.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see the front wheel drive race?
Yes, I got up to the tower about 1 or 2 laps into it.
Okay, that was a pretty interesting race.
It was a pretty good race.
Race for the lead was very good.
So, moving on to Fremont, DJ Foose again continued his winning ways with another 410 win Saturday night. He led off 30 laps there. You said you raced Fremont as well Saturday?
Yeah, we raced Fremont.
Where'd you end up?
I think 11th to 4th.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, we're working on our super slick setups right now, but got to third at one point and got passed back. So finished 4th, so it's good with points. Kind of salvaged the points night again. Coming from the mid pack towards the front, like I said, we're either really bad on redraw or we just miss it.
Well, the good news for you is usually our guests, after they're on the show, they go on to win their next race. So you should be good tomorrow night at Attica.
Well, I hope you're right. That'd be a big one to win for sure.
Buddy Kofoid again in the studio with us tonight. And speaking of guests, we had Brandon Gregory a couple weeks ago, and he won his next race.
And it worked.
So it did work, yeah. Where was I? 50-year-old John Ivey earned career win number 57 after he picked up the 305 feature win there at Fremont.
Darn kids.
That's right. He is young compared to you, isn't he?
Yeah, but you betcha.
Dustin Keegan took the late lead to win the dirt truck feature at Fremont. Eldora Speedway, the big late model event, one of 2, I guess you could say, the Dream. Did you see any of that?
Boy, I did.
Okay.
Heard a lot about heat race number 5.
There was a lot that went on in heat race number 5.
That was the craziest thing, Scott. It really was.
Which part? The
rain shower,
or the disqualification?
Yeah.
Earl Pearson Jr. Slowed with we'll jump ahead to the feature, the big race, the 125,000 win.
There.
Earl Pearson Jr. slowed with a deflating tire on lap 72 and relinquished the lead to New Berlin, Illinois' Brandon Shepard, who you picked to win last week. He went on to lead the final 28 laps despite a fierce challenge from Dale McDowell. Other winners in the first 2 nights of Dream competition were Darrell Lanigan, Ricky Weiss, Jonathan Davenport, and Shane Clanton. And we'll talk more about that heat number 5 a little bit later.
That's fine.
Okay. Flat Rock Speedway had some pretty good action there, too. Late model driver Chris Benson won the school bus figure 8. Former track champ Justin Schroeder got his first late model feature win of the season. Dennis Strickland had a pretty hard crash in that feature, too, which I put that video up.
As a matter of fact, he was at the shop today purchasing aluminum.
Really?
A fair amount of it.
So when people crash, you make money. You profit off of other people's
misfortunes.
Yeah.
I feel bad about that, Scott.
I'm sure you do. You look like you're all tore up about it. But
I really am.
Luckily, Dennis was okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he has got a monster bruise on his left arm.
Well, he hit that driver's side first.
Yeah, hooked his thumb. So one thumb, it's not broken, but it's really sore. That said, he's working feverishly on the race car, trying to get it ready for the next race.
All right. Bill Early won the figure 8 feature. Dave Lambert won the boat figure 8. And 9-year-old Joel Smith was the lone bandolero and won his second of the year because he was the only one there.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be the easy way to win races.
When they started the 4-cylinder class at Oakshade,
there was one car.
Was car.
Tyler Line that was out there a few times?
I don't remember who it was. I was trying to remember that today.
You got to start somewhere.
And that class has grown.
Sandusky Speedway also in action. Preston Walker was the winner of the modifieds. Carl Smith won Lake Erie Stock feature. Dan Smith won the Renegade feature. Tanner Smith was the beginner stock feature. World of Outlaw NASA Energy Drink Sprint action. Logan Schuchart's win Friday night at River City Speedway earned him bragging rights for the most World of Outlaw wins this season. You've run with the World of Outlaws this season, did you?
I ran a couple times. Yeah. Our most recent one was at Lawrenceburg, and we finished 6th there.
That's pretty amazing. That's a tough crowd.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
That place is really cool. That's probably one of my favorite sprint car tracks now. And to finish up front and run with those guys, we're in the top 5 for a decent amount of the race, and so racing up front with them was pretty cool. And
was that the first time you've raced with the Outlaws?
No, I've raced with them. That was the second time this year, but I've raced handful last year in California a little bit, and
so there's no intimidation factor anymore going into those races with those big names.
No, there always is. I mean, you're racing with the best in the world, so there's a little bit, but it depends if you're having a good night or a bad night. It can kind of fluctuate, but we're having a pretty good night, so it had me feeling a little bit better about it.
Where was I?
World of Energy.
That's right. Brad Sweet was the winner at Granite City Speedway on Saturday night. This weekend is the Brownells Big Guns Bash at Knoxville Raceway, Friday and Saturday. Brownells? I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
It's obviously a sponsor of some sort. The Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Stars were in action. Jonestown, Pennsylvania's Brock Zierfoss was the winner Friday at Outlaw Speedway. It was his first ever All-Star victory. Dale Blaney was Saturday's winner at State Line, not the State Line in Eden, the go-kart track, different State Line.
Right.
He led the entire distance, and Danny Dietrich out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, won at my favorite track.
Weedsport.
That's the one.
It's a great track, Scott.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. That was Sunday night. It was his first All-Star win of the season as well. ARCA action at MIS on Friday. I didn't see any of this. Didn't get a chance to watch any of that. Did you happen to see any of it?
I think we watched a little bit of it, yeah.
Michael Self dominated at Michigan on Friday, but needed a last lap pass on Ty Majeski, who ran out of fuel in the final corners to win his third race of the season.
Did see that, yep.
The Oregon, Wisconsin Shore Lunch 200 is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. You can watch that on MAV TV. Greg Biffle made his return to NASCAR racing in the Truck Series race Friday night at Texas, and he did it with a win.
Yes,
of course,
he did.
He was in a Kyle Busch Motorsports
Kyle
truck.
Busch's personal truck.
Yeah, so that probably didn't hurt. So, yeah he had
Who
good
ran
equipment.
Second in that race?
I don't know.
Oh, Matt Crafton.
Did he really?
Yeah. We've got to get him on the show. Really nice guy. And he races out of Thorsport just over in Sandusky.
Yeah. I know he's tested out at Oakshade a few times for the, what do they call the thing now at Eldora now?
Yeah.
It was the
Mud Summer Dream or whatever.
Tyler Reddick won the Xfinity race at MIS on Saturday. Then he went down and watched the Dream Saturday night.
Another California native that started out on dirt.
He made some comments indicating that he would like to get back to dirt car racing at some point after he makes lots of money in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Xfinity Series are going to be at Iowa on Sunday at 5:30 on Fox Sports 1. I believe the trucks are at Iowa's. They're going to be there Saturday night. Sunday's Cup race was postponed to Monday evening, and Joey Logano was the winner of that. Apparently, I've watched the replay because I didn't see it live, but they were complaining that Joey got a jump on that last restart.
He was the leader. It's his race to start.
Well,
How does the leader cheat? Come on.
I don't know. There's always some
whiny asses.
It seems I read some other article too that it just said that like everybody in NASCAR that races in the Cup Series it sounds like they're not having any fun. And so how are the fans supposed to enjoy it if it seems like the drivers aren't having any fun?
Yeah,
the rules packages, you hear about them complaining about that, and that's not real racing. How do you feel about that, buddy?
I
throwing you on
know.
the spot.
I haven't really paid too much attention about the possible complaints or whatever. I just watch it and just whenever I have time or you know, the Xfinity race, because I know there's some dirt guys in it, or you know, the trucks or whatever. And I like to watch Cup too, so I don't really pay attention to the negative stuff per se.
The Cup drivers have been kind of a hot topic on Facebook lately, and the one topic, or the one point that I keep bringing up, is that back in the day, the NASCAR drivers were allowed to have personalities. You know, Davey Allison, Dale Earnhardt, Alan Kulwicki. Those guys all had personalities.
What about Tony Stewart?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
More recently.
Jeff Gordon more recently.
I don't know that he had a personality.
But,
he was kind of...
you know, you look through the top teams, and it's kind of milquetoast. Most of the drivers are really pretty bland, and they're, you know, they whine about this or that, but they just don't have the personality that they used to.
How do you fix that?
Turn them loose.
Okay.
Tell their handlers to let them go, I guess. I don't know.
Don't be so tight-lipped. Say what's on your mind.
Yeah.
It sounds like some of them are.
You can't say anything bad. You can't say anything bad about NASCAR because they haul your butt into the trailer.
Yeah. Unless you're some of the older guard, you kind of get away with a little bit more. Like
Kevin Harvick can get away with it. Yeah.
IndyCar action. Joseph Newgarden won Saturday night at Texas Motor Speedway. They are off this weekend, as well as the Cup Series is also off for Father's Day weekend. I wasn't sure I was going to cover this, but I figured we might as well keep on top of the Dirt Car Summer Nationals.
Okay.
Late models. Opener got rained out last night. So they're going to try it tonight up over at Kankakee County Speedway in Illinois. Yeah,
Peoria was what rained out last night.
Yeah. This has been rescheduled for the 26th of June. So I figure we'll keep an eye on that. And
26th, that must be a Monday?
I don't know.
I think their schedule, I thought their June schedule was pretty
full.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll update next week.
But you know what, Scott?
What?
Amazingly, that was the first rainout that you've talked about in the entire weekend's rundown.
Well, technically that wasn't the weekend. That was last night. So
yeah, well.
Again,
it was before tonight.
Weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekend coming up a little bit later on tonight. You definitely want to stick around for that. The 37th Cometic Gasket Ohio Sprint Speedweek starts tomorrow night. Are you planning to run the whole deal?
Yeah, we're going to run all 9.
All right.
All 9 races.
And you've got a backup ride if you need it?
In terms of a spare car?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right.
We put that up there last night.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Hopefully you don't have to use it.
Wait a minute.
Oh, absolutely.
Before we get more into Sprint Speedweek, Chris Mize just posted something here, made a comment. 800 to win for the front-wheel drive.
Really?
October 3rd, and possibly going over 1,000. What about us bombers and trucks? Come on now.
They already posted that. I'm sorry.
What are we, 400 to win for that?
Yeah.
And the front-wheel drives are 800, possibly 1,000?
Holy cow.
Okay. Keep working on that, Chris. You got all summer to boost that.
Corey Gum, if you're listening, I want to run your backup car for that race.
Again, that's the Dirty 30 at Sandusky Speedway, October 3rd. Back to the All-Star Sprint Speed Week.
Wait a minute, Chris Mize. What about one of the NASCAR stars being there? Have you been working on that? Now you can go, Scott.
We need to get Buddy there in a stock car or something.
Something with fenders, yeah.
That'd be nice. Try it.
The Ohio Sprint Speed Week coming up. Are you? Last I checked, I didn't check after this weekend, but you were like top 20 in All-Star points. But they've only run so many races, too.
I've only done one race.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That had you up there.
2 races, sorry.
How'd you do in those?
A second, and we were running 5th, and got collected in another crash.
That's pretty impressive, buddy.
So what are your expectations going into Speed Week? Are they pretty high? You'd be disappointed if you're not champion?
Well, that'd be really nice. I'd like to at least get a win would be really cool, and somewhat finish up high in the points, or at least make every feature and be consistent. And top 10 would be nice, or top 5 would be even better. And
have you done something like this before, racing 9 consecutive nights?
not
Assuming
9.
nobody knows?
The most I've done, I believe, is 5 or 6 nights in a row. Yeah, so 9 is still 3 or 4 more, which is quite a bit. But
So have you done anything to prepare yourself for this, or the crew?
We've been pretty busy in the shop, switching cars around, getting everything kind of freshed up again, and because this is one of our busiest weeks. So we treat every race really importantly, but this one extra important because of how much racing we're doing, and we won't be home very often either. So just making sure everything's all ready, and equipment and everything. So.
Making sure the trailer's well stocked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, she's stocked.
All right. Well, the 9 races, which a minimum are 5,000 to win, some of them more than that. Of course, starts tomorrow at Attica, Saturday at Eldora, and just a bulletin just before we came on the air here tonight that has been moved up due to the forecast to start at 5:30, racing at 5:30.
Right.
The gates are open at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock.
Right.
So Saturday at Eldora is going to be a little bit earlier. Sunday at Muskingum County Speedway. Monday, Wayne County Speedway. Tuesday at Sharon Speedway. Wednesday at Atomic Speedway. Next Thursday, Mansfield. Friday at Lima Land. A week from Friday, I should say. And a week from Saturday, they're going to finish up at Wayne County Speedway, second night there.
You talked about Muskingum County Speedway. Yeah. Did you see, just changing gears a little bit, did you see that Donnie Moran is getting back in a dirt late model?
I got that.
Okay, good.
Coming up. We'll talk about that too.
We'll talk about that later. I didn't want to miss that one.
All right. Have you run all these tracks, by the way? Or some of these going to be new to you?
4 of them will be new. Muskingum, Sharon, Lima, and I can't think of the other one. Lima? I said Lima.
You said Lima.
Lima, Sharon, Muskingum,
Eldora, obviously.
Yeah, Atomic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the 4 new ones.
Some other random notes here from some of our previous guests. Oliver Osborne, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Little guy? He got career win number 50 at State Line Speedway over the weekend, over in Eden.
Okay.
So,
in the...
in what he runs?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I know he had 2 or 3 different rides, and I don't
remember
sure.
which one. I just got a message from his dad.
Okay,
I told
cool.
him I mentioned
Very
it, so
good.
That was pretty cool. Rusty Schlenk got feature win number 199 at I-96 on Friday night. He had problems at Oakshade on Saturday. Pulled off.
Fuel pump issues.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Brian Ruhlman was the winner of the Outlaw E-Mod feature at Sharon Speedway on Saturday. His brother Chad won the Rush Sprint Car feature. So, just some other random notes. Some other racing news. Scott Bloomquist. This is what you want to talk about. Heat race number 5. He was involved in more drama at Eldora in Dream Competition. First off, rain began falling. We had this video posted on our Facebook page as well. After one of the restarts, going into turn 1, everybody on the outside slid up into the wall, and everybody on the inside pretty much slid up into the cars that slid up into the wall.
Every car that was in the race wrecked.
Yeah. So.
And it was an instantaneous shower. Nobody expected it. It really wasn't on anybody's radar, and
including the weather radar.
And
Whoa!
yeah, and it was over in like 30 seconds.
So were a lot of the cars, but
yeah,
they stopped the race, allowed the drivers to go back and make repairs. I think they ran heat race number 6, and then came back to heat 5 eventually,
which was the source of a whole lot of controversy.
Well, they restarted in the positions they were running on that restart after it allowed the drivers to make the repairs. So that was pretty cool of Eldora to do that. But then after Bloomquist to make his return, his triumphant return after that motorcycle injury in February?
Yeah.
I think that's when that was. Came up 2 pounds short.
Yeah.
When he crossed the scales. So he was disqualified and unable to make the dream feature.
What a shame.
I can tell you're pretty tore up about that. So, yeah.
Back to some of the controversy about Heat Race 5, other than Scott being light, there were a couple of cars that were able to continue, and they circled around a couple of laps under caution while they were trying to decide what to do, and then they were told to go to the pits. And those cars were restarted behind the ones that had crashed and came back out. Now
because they put them back in the running order they were
for
before.
the previous lap.
Okay.
Now at Eldora, they marked all the tires, and you had to run the same 4 tires all weekend, or up until the 100. But these guys changed tires and came back out. Never got approval or anything else.
Well, why did they do that then?
There were a whole lot of questions.
I didn't hear anything about
Oh,
this.
yeah, there were a whole lot of questions and not a lot of answers. And I understand that Monday, Eldora made things right with the racers that felt like they were shortchanged.
And they did that how?
Yeah, by sending them a check.
Oh, okay.
See, nobody got paid. It's not like some of the short tracks.
Who did you know who those drivers were? Or are you just not saying?
I'm not saying.
Okay. All right then.
Fine.
I did not know that. That's some
I know
new information there. Kryptonite Race Cars teaming up with Donnie Moran.
Yay.
Moran will be piloting his own Kryptonite race car. That's all I had on that. Did you have?
Well, only that Donnie Moran owns Muskingum County Raceway, and he's been retired and actually has been mentoring some younger drivers. And I was really shocked to see that he was coming back. How about you, Alan? Were you surprised that Donnie was getting back in the driver's seat?
Absolutely.
You want a microphone now? do you want a microphone now?
No.
Okay.
Some other news. Did you see Haley Deegan?
No, I didn't.
And her win. She got another K&N Pro West Series win.
Really?
And it was pretty. You didn't see the video?
I may have.
She was leading at a restart in overtime. This was at Colorado National Speedway, and she got bumped out of the way by her teammate Derek Kraus, and she kind of came back the next lap and had a run to his inside and
returned the favor.
Kind of doored him, and he ended up spinning. She went on to win the race.
Good girl.
So she got her third win, and we have some audio of her comments after that move.
Really? We've had some comments after she got dumped a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
this is similar to that, but she's much happier in this
Well,
one.
I'll bet she is. Let's listen.
All right. Well, that's not it.
So that was probably the most scrappy, hard racing race I have been in my stock career. Everyone was running really hard from the beginning. We had the best car on track. I had the win in the bag. Last 50 laps, we were by far the fastest. I ran my fast lap time with like 25 to go on used tires. And so I had to get the win on that restart. The number 6, I thought that was who was going to run me really hard. And so I picked the bottom when I was normally picking the top. I went to that corner, went in hard, and so I was already kind of on the edge, and I was not expecting my teammate with the broke sway bar to take a swing at me like that. I thought he was going to play it cautious, and so in the end, I told you guys last week, if you take a swing at me, I'm going to take a swing at you back. So it was a hard race, and I don't want to run my teammate like that, but also I did not expect him to run me like that. So hard racing's hard racing. You want to race me hard, I'm going to race you hard, but that was some fun racing, I have to admit.
What do you think about that, Ron?
There you go, Haley.
She also went on to say that she didn't expect to take him out. I expected to door slam him. By all means, I was going to door him back. I don't regret it. I'm sorry that he spun out.
You know, Scott, if you don't make a statement, they'll think that you like it, and then you're fair game. So
you think she got a lot of respect after that move?
I'm sure that her partner won't do that again.
She definitely got a lot of coverage there. That's win number 3 again for her in that series. I think she's in the ARCA race this weekend too. I think so.
Yeah,
I think I saw in one of Charlie's emails there. So still 17 years old. I don't think she turns 18 until July. I think her birthday maybe. Speaking of 17-year-olds. Buddy Kofoid in the studio with us, and we're going to talk more directly to you. First off, what are you familiar with Haley Deegan and anything she's done?
Yeah, a little bit. I've read things and seen things a little bit.
What's your opinion of her?
No,
Are you
I think
a fan?
it's yeah, no, I think it's cool what she's doing. She's getting a lot of publicity, obviously, because she's doing a good job, which is good for her. So
You're getting publicity too for doing a
yeah.
good job.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd like to get to NASCAR and or at least the Cup, and I know that's where she wants to go. So,
You guys are taking different paths though to get there. I mean,
yeah. No, I was brought up racing outlaw karts. I'm not really sure where she started though.
I don't remember. We had her on a few weeks ago, and
wasn't it off-road trucks?
that's right. That's what it was.
Oh,
She
yeah.
started
Yeah,
off
her
in
family
because
is
of her dad.
her family is
Yeah.
is big time into off-road trucks, Scott.
So you started racing when you were 5, right?
Yeah, I started racing outlaw karts when I was 5. We'd go to places like Red Bluff, Cycleland Speedway. There's 2 Lakeport tracks, one indoor, one outdoor.
Was this in
Ukiah.
California?
Yeah, all in,
This is
all
where you're
in
from.
Northern California, where I'm
Okay.
from. So we did that for about 7, 8 years, and a lot of people helped me out with that. Robert Carroll, who actually used to own QRC, which was the outlaw karts that we ran, and they're still some of the best, or probably the best right now. And then Jimmy Elledge took it over and continued to help me out quite a bit. And he's actually was a NASCAR crew chief for quite a while.
Now, do you recommend to kids that kind of look up to you, some younger kids that want to get into racing, that this is a good way to start?
Yeah, no, I definitely would. It teaches you a lot about racing, especially on dirt. And that's where a lot of people like Kyle Larson and Rico Abreu came from.
I was going to ask you, who are some of your racing heroes? Is Kyle Larson one of them?
I would say, yeah, Kyle Larson's one of them. And then I'm a big fan of Formula One, so I would say Ayrton Senna. But for all my all-time favorite race car driver was, and still is, Steve Kinser. That's why I was always number 11 in outlaw karts. White and silver with their red number 11. That's what we were.
Cool. So you ended up getting a deal with Dan Simpson and running sprint cars for him, right? How'd that come about?
So when I was 9, my dad
You were
and I,
old by then. You're
Yeah,
racing
no.
veteran, right?
really old. Yeah, so when we were 9, or when I was 9, my dad and I bought a spec Sprint, which is a non-wing 2-barrel carburetor 360, and practiced that at Marysville, which was very unheard of for someone my age. So with
Did you have problems reaching the pedals or anything?
no, we raised them up quite a bit. Yeah, Paul Hawes, who ran Marysville at the time, was very generous and let me practice. They had practices on every Monday. And then the next year, when I was 10, we sold the spec Sprint, and my dad and I got a wing 360. Practiced that more and more, and then Dan Simpson and his daughter happened to be practicing there, Danielle. And some of the crew guys, the same crew guys that I worked with when I raced for Dan, were with her, and they found me there practicing my own car, and decided to have me race for them in 2013 when I was 11.
It was one of those things they were practicing and probably.
Yeah, I happened to be there.
Hey, kid, you want to take a couple of laps in this? And
No, they went home because we still never had met them. At least not that I remember at the track yet. And they talked to Dan, and then they got a hold of us afterwards. And at the time, Dan owned the King of the West series, which was a California traveling 410 series. And then he kind of made a smaller class called the King of the West Lights, kind of for me, so I could race sprint cars for him. And he also owned a track in Fernley, Nevada, and so there was a little 10-race schedule, and I won 4 of them and the championship. And then
No, I thought I read something where you were too young to race in California, so you were racing.
yeah, yep. And then when I was 12, I went back to go-karts because there wasn't really anything I could do sprint car related.
How was that transition going from a sprint car to back to a go-kart?
It wasn't really that tough because the year before that and the year during, or when I was racing sprint cars, I was still in outlaw karts quite a bit. And so when I was 12, raced outlaw karts again, which was my last full season actually, which was 2013-ish, 14 a little bit. And then when I turned 13, we raced our own 360 again in Oregon. My dad and I, and then Brian Schaffner helped us out a little bit, which ended up being my crew chief for Dan Simpson the following few years. So we would drive, 9 hours out on a Friday after my dad got home from work, go to race in Cottage Grove, and we'd sleep in our own trailer, because couldn't afford to buy hotels every single week.
9 hours. That's quite
we did what it took, and raced once or twice in our sprint car, and so we raced about 25 times in Oregon.
Weren't those age restrictions the reason that Jeff Gordon came to the Midwest? He was originally from California.
Yeah.
If I remember the story, he came here because they weren't quite as strict on.
I don't remember hearing that, but
I'm pretty sure.
Definitely, kind of when I came along in California, the age restrictions lowered a year to 2 years roughly.
Uh-huh.
Well, how are they going to ID or card you,
They can't. Birth certificate, I guess, but not everyone has one on hand. But yeah, then 2016, I started racing for Dan full time again in wing sprint cars, 360s, 410s. We'd do a little non-wing. So we did about 60, 70 races in California, and so we...
In 1 year?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the same thing for 2017. Actually, funny story. We've had a lot of great guys help us, and Gary Silva was one of them. And he happened to, one of the things he helped us with was buying a 360 motor for $7,500, and that's what we won our prelim night with at the Trophy Cup. And to me, that's one of my favorite races. Very prestigious. So we were not a big budget operation, but we made work what we had.
Sounds like a very affordable motor.
Yeah, no, it was. It
was probably a very good motor that somebody gave him a really good deal.
Well, the return on it sounds like it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, like I said, we weren't a big budget operation. We did what we had to do, and had a lot of good guys help us, like Brian Schaffner was a really good crew chief to me, and one of my good friends now, and we've had a lot of people volunteer help, help me follow my dream. Bill Cannon, Roy Van Connet, and his dad, Leroy Van Connet's actually a Sprint Car Hall of Famer. Ed Kinkle, and like I said, of course, Dan Simpson and Gary Silva. So I raced for him for about 2.5, 3 years. Then there was a point where I was kind of in between rides in 2018, or at least the beginning. And that's when Doug Roots called me, and I raced for him and Jim Richmond. And then through him, I actually met Daniel Anderson, which is a few months ago. I just got back from New Zealand racing sprint cars, and raced for Daniel Anderson and Doug Roots and all them. So it's been a lot of fun traveling, and then of course, my family's sacrificed a lot for me, and of course, my dad helping and financially and just supporting me mentally, and then obviously another big help with one of the main reasons why I'm here right now and racing the 11N is Carson Macedo.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's the type of person where I could always go to him for advice or just to talk about whatever, and like I said, there's a point where I wasn't super busy racing sprint cars like I'd want to be, and was asking, how could I get out to Ohio, or where you are, and do you know anyone that's free or open? And one of the names he mentioned was Ed Neumeister and the Linders, so I got to talking with them, and this was last year, and through about 6 races together, I think it was, and at the time I was their 9th or 10th driver of the year. So they decided.
Was this last year then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They decided they wanted to settle down and wanted a full-time driver, and they picked me. So it's been.
So you earned the ride for this year, last year.
Yeah.
And Carson Macedo helped.
Carson Macedo helped me, and it was really cool.
You've talked about a lot of people that have helped you. Are there any sponsors that you've had along the way or currently that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, definitely Ed Neumeister, who owns the 11N. Without him, I wouldn't be here, along with Ray Brooks, who owns CK Plumbing and Go Construction.
I know, you're trying to visualize that darn race car, aren't you?
Yeah, and
it's a tough job.
Yeah, we have good partners with us. DMI, AL Driveline, Linder Speed Equipment, of course. All of the Linders, Mike, Steven, and Stephanie. And like I said, we got really good help behind us. We'll have four or five full-time guys on Speedweek. So we have also Sam Whitty, Chris Verda, and Jason Miller. So for me personally, this is the best situation I've been in racing sprint cars. So it's just a dream right now.
So you're happy with where you're at right now?
Yeah, I'm happy. Excited, living the dream, like I said. And
let's talk about you raced in New Zealand earlier this.
Mm-hmm.
Was it earlier this year?
Yeah,
during the winter months here. You were down
January and February.
That's midsummer, Scott.
You did pretty good down there, from what I hear.
Yeah, we raced there. We had 7 races, and we won 6 of them, the last 6, actually. So we won 6 in a row.
What happened in the first race?
We were going to start 3rd in the feature, and we had a driveline issue in hot laps for the feature.
So it wasn't even your fault then?
No, just a mechanical issue. You can't really avoid stuff like that.
Can't win them all, but you didn't win most of them.
No, it would have been really cool.
Did you pack up a car and take it with you, or did you run a car from down there?
It was a car from down there. Daniel Anderson had a few cars in his shop ready, and then he actually bought a motor from American and had it shipped over. So that's what I ran.
It was more than $7,500 or $7,500, right?
It was more than that. Yeah, 410s are a little bit more pricey, and it was a nice one. So it was, of course, gonna cost a little bit more. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and then, like I said, got to bring Doug Roots and Jim Richmond, which they're really good friends with Daniel Anderson. And
so who gets all the money that you win? Do you get to keep any of it, or does it all go to the car owners?
Or
is that too personal of a question?
No.
You get paid for this? I thought it was just fun.
Daniel, he paid me before I left. And because I've always raced for free, I've never been in the position where I've been paid. So this is the first year where I've really been paid as a full-time driver. So you kind of treat it more as a job. So to me, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is the first time I've really been paid to drive a race car.
That's cool. So you're here in the Midwest now. You were in New Zealand, and do you ever get home to California, or do you miss your friends? How do you handle all that?
It may sound bad, but I don't really miss being at home. I've always loved traveling and kind of being out, doing my own thing per se. I left home to come here the 3rd week of March, so it's been a good 11 or 12 weeks.
What about school? Are you still in high school? Or?
I finished 11th grade, junior year, 3 weeks ago. So I got.
So how do you do that? Is that like
it's
homeschool
online?
Or
it's
online?
like independent study / online.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you still have another year of high school.
Still got
to go.
another year. So
how are you going to do that? Are you going to do that online too?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but I don't know if I'll do it at home or here because. My school at home is independent study. I went once a week. So I still had actual teachers, but I went once a week, and that was part of the requirement is you got to go once a week. So they worked with me to finish junior year, so I missed, so it was the last 8 or 9 weeks. So they was really cool to help me out, but I don't know how I'm going to finish senior
So you're not
year.
sure if you're going to stick around after this race season in the Midwest, or?
I'd love to stick around as long as I can. our last race is supposed to be the last week of September.
So you're free for if somebody has a ride for the Dirty 30 on October 3rd at Sandusky Speedway, right?
That I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's right. You're paid now, so somebody might have to pay you.
But yeah, no. If we do more, it's I don't want to say it's up in the air, but I would think there's a possibility. Maybe we could do more, or whether I'm at home racing, finishing out the year.
Well, let's talk about that. What were your plans at the beginning of the season running the 11? Were you planning on running any championships or specific tracks, or what was the original plan?
At first, we weren't really. We were just gonna run a lot of Attica, the AFCS, the New Point Series, or 410 Series. Fremont here and there, some NRA stuff. All Stars, of course, Outlaws, just kind of whatever, whenever what was on the schedule is what we were going to run, and then some good runs at a couple local tracks, and with the new AFCS series, we were sitting pretty good, so we kind of shifted our schedule just a little bit, and I mean a little bit, I mean like one race.
We've got to follow this.
Yeah,
we've got to follow this.
So you're running for the points then of Attica and Fremont
and the AFCS series, yeah. And it actually only came down to missing one race, so we shifted it so we could run them all.
Who lost the race? Where were you going?
We were going to go to Eldora, I think, for NRA. Which we need to get better at Eldora a little bit, but we also thought it was equally important to try and chase all three of those series.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're pretty big. What do you do when you're not racing? I know for the next 9 days starting tomorrow, you're going to be pretty busy, but like Monday through Thursday, or what do you do with your free time?
I don't do a whole lot. I'll run errands for and it's pretty much all race car related. If I got to go to Kistler's or.
No, you're working on the car all week.
Working on the car.
Crew?
Yeah, there'll be a handful of us throughout the day or kind of end of the day. So mostly just, for not racing, it's still working on race cars.
Are you a hands-on kind of driver where you actually work, or do you carry your helmet bag and say, "Hey, here I am"?
No, I wouldn't want to be like that. I like working.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
No, I like working on.
I don't have a crew.
Race cars. Yeah, no, I enjoy all of it, and it's all a part of being a driver and to get better. It's not just racing, it's stuff like this with media or.
I believe that over the years, the best drivers knew nuts and bolts on their race cars.
Yeah,
the Alan Kowicki types that were engineers and knew how everything worked.
Yeah,
I think that's really important.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
I'm sure Steve Kinzer knows that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Harvey Davis says I should ask you about orange flavored Lifesaver. What's that about?
Harvey is so I live with Mike and Stephanie, and that is Mike's brother-in-law, which is married to their sister, and he got us onto these orange Lifesavers, which are actually not that bad. So I guess it's kind of a joke now.
Okay, I thought there'd be more to that, but yeah, orange Lifesavers are good.
Yeah.
I think you should have them with you all the time.
Yeah, we actually just bought a pack today.
It's all right. Maybe a new sponsor coming on board.
Never
Paint
know.
the car orange. Yeah, I see this coming together.
Get like white wall tires, maybe.
That's it.
So have you thought anything about next year, or you just kind of going to go see how this year plays out before thinking about anything for next year?
No, I haven't really thought about next year. Kind of like I said, just trying to see how this year goes, and hopefully it goes well where I can stay out here. I wouldn't want to go back to California. I'd like to stay out here in the Midwest. Or
Why is that?
It seems like sprint car racing is the hub. The Midwest is the hub for sprint car racing out here.
Have you seen snow yet?
A couple times, yeah.
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 Why would you want to winter here?
He'll go to New Zealand
I'm sure
or
I'd be
somewhere,
home.
right?
I'm sure I'd be home for our winter, or maybe New Zealand or Australia. But
You're not supposed to call Ron Miller race cars right now. Wait until later. Now, you said you wanted to eventually get into NASCAR or Formula One. Is that correct? Is that's
I'd like to end up in NASCAR, in Cup, but that's where I would like to go. Where I'm aiming to go, working for. But like I said, the past couple years I've become a fan of Formula One, and especially the history. I really like the history of it and how those guys did it. Kind of 60s to 80s and a little bit of the 90s was those guys were crazy.
You know what's really amazing, Scott? We've had a lot of guests on our show and a lot of younger guests, and really only 2 of them that I remember have said that they really want to go to NASCAR. Everyone else seems as though, oh yeah, I'd like to be in a late model and win the Dream or the World, or I'd like to keep running sprint cars and win some big races, the King's Royal. It's good to see aspirations above that.
well, and the NASCAR guys though their aspirations are going back to dirt.
Yeah.
So once you get up,
It all comes full circle.
Yeah, you'll run Formula One or NASCAR, and then go back to dirt racing, right? Have you ever thought about running like a dirt late model or anything? Have you? I should ask.
I haven't, and I haven't really thought about it. No,
No interest there. You prefer the open wheels?
I haven't really thought about it.
It's kind of an us versus them mentality, Scott. It really.
I mean,
is.
I'd be open to trying
I'm
it.
a fan of both.
I'd definitely run them. I would try it.
Okay.
But I've always been a sprint car fan. I've always loved running sprint cars, and
Well, you are pretty good at it. It
kind
seems
of an
I mean,
AJ Foyt kind of guy. That'd be cool. Somebody that could drive anything
Would you run the Indy 500?
absolutely,
in a heartbeat, right?
All right.
absolutely.
Figured I'd ask. Well, Buddy Kofoid, good luck with the Sprint Speedweek coming up. Again, starting tomorrow. You're all ready to go for this at Attica tomorrow night?
Well, there's a couple more things we got to button up. I'm sure the guys at the shop are working on it, but we're pretty close. Looking forward to it. I've heard it's pretty grueling, but you can't beat 9 days in a row racing.
No. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. It hasn't been very nice to anybody.
Tomorrow they'll be fine.
Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow you'll be racing tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think so, but it seems like weather here is bipolar.
Well,
It's a little different than California.
Nah, can't make up its mind.
It's really unusual even for here. Trust
Yeah, that's
me.
what I've heard. But
That's why they have that joke. It's Michigan and Ohio. I think it's all
Yeah.
Midwest where it'll be like, you don't like the weather today, wait an hour.
yeah, no, it's when I left home in March, it was 77 degrees and clear skies, and which is at that time for where I live, it's pretty unheard of because we're about half hour, 40 minutes from the ocean, so it stays pretty cool. And then coming here and it's 30s or 40s and freezing cold.
There's a hangover race at Sandusky Speedway every day on New Year's Day. They race in any weather. They race in like a foot of snow. I've done this before. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty crazy. I can't.
They don't run sprints, unfortunately, but it's
Nah.
pretty open as far as rules. So.
I can't imagine doing that, Scott.
This guy's won almost. Wait, you've won the most of them, haven't you? No, there's another guy that did it years ago. That has a few more wins than you.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, you might have to check that out if you're still in the area on New Year's Day. It's there's not much other racing going on in this area. Outdoors,
not
at least.
really anywhere except
Dress warm, though.
Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You might be out of the country, huh?
Yeah, never know.
All
Hopefully.
right. Well, we appreciate you coming in, and good luck again. And got a few other things to get to here. Actually, you get to play How Many with us. Each week we kind of do a How Many. And we have 2 of them this week I'm going to do because I wanted to do one because I figured one he probably doesn't have much.
Not a clue
on, and one that he probably has a pretty good idea on. Last week's How Many, we actually didn't do How Many. We picked who was going to win the Dream, and you were spot on. You picked Mr. Shepard.
Imagine that.
So good job on that. This week, we're going to do 2 of them. How many 410s are going to be at Attica tomorrow night? Also, how many late models at Oakshade for the Barney Oldfield on Saturday night? Which should we start with first?
410s.
410s.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many do you think we got?
We'll
tomorrow
give you
at Attica?
first shot, buddy.
Yep. You get first guess. There's no.
Is there a
you
range,
win
or
nothing.
do I got to be exact?
It's whoever's closest, and you don't win anything. You'll have to listen next week to find out who won. But
I'm gonna say 53.
That would have. Yeah, that was a good guess.
what do you got?
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Blake. How many sprint cars at Attica tomorrow night? kickoff of Sprint Car Speedweek. The professional already picked 53.
Get up in the 60s, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I haven't been around long enough.
It might be 64.
That'd be good.
Mrs. Miller?
43.
Wow. You've got quite a range there. 43 for Kathy.
Say 58.
58.
58 for Stephanie. So what do you got? You're just
I'm going one under Steph.
you going 57?
Yes, sir.
Oh hell. I'll go 56 then.
Oh,
I figure he's got some knowing. He's got some knowledge there, so it'll be closer to him.
I said one under 64.
Well, that would have been silly. That's just silly. So how many? Let's go. How many late models at Oakshade for the Barney? I'm trying to think how many we had last year.
48. I don't know what we had last year. I'm going 48.
You're going 48. If you're not familiar, the Barney is a pretty big late model race out at Oakshade. So just pick a number. It's probably going to rain.
I'm going to say 42.
42 is probably a good number. 42.
46.
46. Is Roddy racing this weekend?
I'll make it 45.
45, okay.
49.
49 for Kathy.
44.
44 for Stephanie.
And Mr. Hammer?
No, you first. Oh, you're going to make me go first on this one?
No.
I'm going to go. Oh, wait. Did you?
I
Yeah,
did.
you already picked 48, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Ooh.
You can't pick 48.
No, I'm going to go with 46.
Go ahead. 47.
46. Or 0. We'll see. Coming up, we'll have that weekend weather pit stop action going on this weekend. We have Limaland in action with the Busch Clash, presented by Anheuser-Busch. Sales of Lima. That's Anheuser-Busch Sales of Lima. It's also a Run for the Rabbit, presented by Tim Hogan's Carpet, featuring NRA Sprints, modifieds and stocks. That's tomorrow night at Limaland. Pits open at 4:30, grandstands at 5, racing at 7:30. Toledo Speedway is in action tomorrow night with All-American Coach Kids Night. Kids 12 and under get a free hot dog. Also, First Responders Night. First Responders will be admitted free with proper ID. We have Late Model Sportsman, Factory Stock, Vors, Compact Series, and Street Drags. Pits open at 3:30, front gates at 5, racing at 7:30 tomorrow night. General admission $15 there at Toledo Speedway. Attica Raceway Park, Ohio Sprint Speedweek kicks off with the Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions. $5,000 to win tomorrow night. You get to keep some of that, right, buddy? If you win that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You need somebody to negotiate for you. I'm telling you.
UMP late models also in action at Attica, $2,000 to win, plus double Attica points for them. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:45. General admission is $25 tomorrow night at Attica. Saturday. This is where the weather gets a little iffy. Oakshade Raceway, 30th annual Barney Oldfield Race, featuring American Late Model Series, $5,500 to win. UMP Sportsman, Bombers, and Compacts all in action as well. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission just $14 there. Flat Rock Speedway also in action with Victory Lane Quick Oil Change Michigan Figure 8 Championships. 40 laps will be the distance for the feature there.
Ooh.
Plus Street Stocks and the Vors Compact Series featuring Ken Schrader. Kenny Schrader, NASCAR guy.
Really?
Yeah, it's the first time apparently he's going to be racing in a compact.
I wonder if it's his own or...
I don't think so. I don't know that he has one. So that's,
I don't know.
Yeah, they're promoting it pretty heavily though, so that'll be interesting. He's raced everything else. Why not a compact?
Right.
Maybe we should get Kenny Schrader at Sandusky for the Dirty
Chris
30.
Mize.
There you go, Chris. Another job for you. Pit gates open at 3, front gates at 4:30, racing at 7 p.m. That's at Flat Rock. General admission $15. Sandusky Speedway in action. They're gonna have sprints. Lake Erie Stocks, Beginner Stocks, and Renegades. Gates open at 4, racing at 7 p.m. General admission just $10 there at Sandusky Speedway. Fremont will be in action. It's going to be Fort Ball Pizza Palace fan with a can night. The Boss Non-Wing Sprints will be in action, 305 Sprints, and Dirt Trucks. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission $15. Eldora, night number 2 for Ohio Sprint Speed Week. with the Ollie's Bargain Outlets All-Star Circuit of Champions, Modifieds, and Stocks.
At the aforementioned earlier starting
Yes,
time.
2 o'clock gates, racing at 5:30. So keep in mind they did push that back. They called it Flex Schedule.
I understand.
$24 for general admission, $29 reserved. There'll be some Sunday racing, Flat Rock Speedway, if all goes well. It's the Father's Day special Motor City 200 featuring the CRA Jegs late models going 100 laps, the iCar All-Star Modifieds going 75 laps, and the MCR Dwarf Cars going 25 laps. I believe that was rescheduled from April, I think.
That sounds like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, the pit gate opens at 10 a.m., front gate at noon, racing at 3 p.m. General admission is $20 advance, $24 day of show. That's Sunday afternoon at Flat Rock
Forget
Speedway.
that picnic with the kids. Head to Flat Rock on Saturday or Sunday.
And then looking ahead to next week, Thursday, the Ohio Sprint Speedweek
Continues.
Yes, thank you. Continues in our area at Mansfield Motor Speedway. Pits open at 2, spectator gates at 5, racing at 7 p.m. General admission $25. That is at Mansfield next Thursday night. So, and then the Lima Land and finish up in Wayne County. So you'll be tired after that, won't you?
Boy, what a difference
We'll
going
see.
from Mansfield to Lima.
Let's check out our weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman and find out how likely things are going to happen here.
This is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman. Okay, before I get started, just remember, we're the messenger here. We don't make this stuff, all right? After a great weekend last weekend, Friday races actually look pretty good. Lima Land, Toledo, and Attica. Friday evening, I think we should be dry. Temperature should be pretty mild. Good night for racing there. Saturday, Sunday, not looking as good. Oakshade, Flat Rock, Sandusky, Fremont, Eldora. We got widespread rain. Going to happen during the day Saturday. Could get one round in the morning, another round in the afternoon and evening. Pretty hard to envision we're going to get a lot or any of those races in. Sunday, could get another early morning round of heavy rainfall. Good news here is I think the heavier rain on Sunday may be focused south of the Ohio-Michigan border, so there is a chance there at Flat Rock both Saturday night and Sunday, at least a chance to get some races in. Been one of those springs. This has been your weekend weather pit stop forecast. Be sure to download that free First Alert weather app to keep you ahead of any downpours. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman.
He's a meteorologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this edition of the Hammer Down Racing Report. Again, thanks to Buddy Kofoid for coming in. Stephanie Linder as well for chaperoning him, I suppose. When's your birthday?
December 2nd.
December 2nd. Then you turn 18?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll be old.
Yeah, yes, you will. Especially compared to Ron.
Yeah.
Ron's a young'un.
I'm
Thanks.
not even going there.
Thanks again to Dave Kemmer, our associate producer, for setting this up for us. Next week, the plan was to invite the winner of the Barney Oldfield race. We may have to explore other opportunities.
Could be
depending on
Ryan
if
Weekman.
Ryan said he wants to come in one of these days. So maybe next week will be the week.
Yeah. I'll have the stones ready for him.
Don't shoot the messenger. Didn't you hear him?
We wouldn't be shooting. We'd be stoning.
Make sure to give Ron Miller Race Cars a call, 734-856-7223 for all your racing needs,
Please.
advice, equipment, parts. You got it all,
We do.
including
Remember,
tires.
Father's Day is just on Sunday, and we've got gift certificates.
And tires.
And tires.
And tires for your dad.
Aluminum. We got it all. We can help.
Oh, yeah. You helped. Yeah. If you break them, you'll fix them.
Yes, sir. Nothing says I love you, Dad, like a couple of tires.
Make sure to visit hammerdownracerreport.com to find all the different ways you can listen to us. Sponsor information on there as well as listener viewership numbers, all that good stuff. So next week we'll be back in action, 7 o'clock Thursday night live. Listen to us on demand on your favorite podcasting platform, preferably iHeartRadio, since that's where we're at with the scene right there.
Right.
iHeartRadio. So yeah.
Scott, show number 88's in the can.
89 next week. Expect quite a few wins this week, buddy.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
We'll be talking about them next week.
yes, we'll see how we do.
Absolutely. Let's go now. Yeah. Roddy just joined, so it's time to go.
I'm hungry.
Are you?
Yeah.
See you next week.
See y'all.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.